Let's make this button do something. Restore the sample tree to its original state. Well, there isn't some mythical state, so I've never done anything with this, but let's pretend that the state it's in right at this very moment is its original state. And then let's go into the file manager and make that factual. Here we have a folder called default. Inside of here we've got something called sample tree untouched.tbd. Last time I saved that was 3 months ago. I'm going to delete it. Here is the sample tree. I'm just going to copy that over there and rename it. That is now our original database. Let's just say it is. So if somebody presses this button, then this is going to get replaced with this. But there's a problem, because if this has references to images, then they need to be there, and you could say the same for this. So the images folder needs to be copied too. We're going to have sample tree in here, and this is not the same images, that's different. Those are our default images. This change I'm making is not going to affect anything because there is no code that refers to this at all. We're going to write some though. Not very much. It's going to be very easy. And now I can just go in here. Just going to copy these over here. Whoops. Over to here. Now they are identical. We got the whole story. Just watch out for this, because this here and this here say the same thing. Here's our button. Here's our command. Command doesn't do anything right now. I did this already today, so how hard is this going to be? Not very hard. Earlier today in a different movie, we learned that this is decrepit. I forget the exact word. Deprecated. I think they just made that word up, don't you? Oh, this one. I like this one. Oh, yeah. This is the one I like. It's nice and simple, you know? So we're going to have something like this over here, doing something somewhere. From util import copycat. So we're going to have a source path. We're going to have a destination path. And we're going to have the command. So the main objective now is to get these right. These are just going to be strings. This is going to be current drive. Treebard. Default. We want to copy a folder and everything in it, right? Change my mind on this. Just going to have to be careful. Same with this. Just going to have to be careful. Do it this way, we won't have to change the name of anything. It'll be simple. We're in sample tree untouched. That's the name of the folder. The destination is going to be similar in a ways. It's going to be in the same drive, and the rest I believe is going to be hard-coded also. And is it going to overwrite what's in there? This is util copy tree. Let's ask Python this time. There is such a thing as the actual Python documentation, you know. You don't always have to ask Stack Overflow. Python 3.11 documentation util copy tree. I don't read here much because I won't understand very much of it. Here's copy tree. Does exist OK equals false. Apparently it's using a function recursively to copy everything that's inside. Now if the destination already exists and does exist OK is false, there's going to be an error. Now here was my question. If does exist OK is true, the copying operation will continue if it encounters existing directories, plural, and files, plural, within the tree will be overwritten. Okay, I just want to know if that stuff needed to be deleted first, and it doesn't. It'll just be overwritten. How are we going to test it? We're going to add a person here. Tiny Tim is number 444. And now we're going to go like this. See what kind of errors we can come up with. Restore the sample tree to its original state. So after we do that, Tiny Tim should be gone. I suppose there's probably going to be errors before we actually get there. Current drive is not defined. From base, import current drive. Oh my goodness, look, that's confusing. Okay. It's not an emergency, but it is confusing. Restore the sample tree, okay. Okay, no error, and it took a second to do it, so I assume that it actually happened. But let's not assume, let's go find out. Now, Treebard data sample tree, 815, 549. Yeah, it worked. Hot diggity dog, it worked. Yep, it sure did. So, in case you've ever wanted to know, that's how you get rid of Tiny Tim. I like Tiny Tim because he's an expert on old-time music, and I just like New Yorkers. I've liked lots of New Yorkers. They're very sociable people, you know. The ones I've met. Yeah, I don't see a problem with this, but, well, I'm not going to argue with that. Let's say it's okay, and if it ever gets used, I hope it works right. I tested it and it works, and let's keep moving. That's how I test things. If it works, I'm not going to get obsessed with testing. You can test stuff the rest of your life and never get any features written. There's a balance between that. It's called having a team. Then the other team members can do the testing. That's the way I see it. I hate testing. I'm the inventor type, you know. The difference between an inventor and an engineer. Inventor starts with the desired results and works backwards to figure out whether something's possible. An engineer starts out by saying it's impossible and then trying to prove himself wrong. Don't take my word for it. That's not exact. Treebard is not perfect or finished, but in this series, we went over everything that I found while I was recording the 2024 Treebard tour, which was the first time since I'd finished writing code that I'd gone over and tested every feature. So I found several things that had broken or not been tested well enough the first time, and I wrote them down and we just fixed them all, you and me together. Thanks for helping. There's going to be other things in the future that need to be added or fixed or improved or just written better, refactored, rewritten, redesigned, whatever. There's going to be changes in the future. There's going to be features to add. I'm not promising not to do it, but I have no plans to do it. I had no plans to do this series either, but I did it anyway because after making the tour video, I did not like the way it felt, that I had found several problems, and I didn't like that. So I feel better now. I feel more happy. I'm going to sleep good tonight because I feel like we got a solid base here, solid working model. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot wrong with the last one. It was easy for me to fix. Fixed it all in a few days. Maybe one day. Was it one or two? I don't know. I don't remember. I can't remember stuff like that anymore, which is one reason not to write code. If you can't remember what you had for breakfast yesterday, but you know that you eat the same thing for breakfast every day and you still can't remember what you had for breakfast yesterday, well, then you're too old to write code, or you're too old to eat breakfast. Maybe you just should give up breakfast because breakfast's not good for you, you know. You should be out in the morning sun exercising, going for a walk, you know, walk the dog, play frisbee with the kids next door, whatever, you know. chase bad guys, whatever you do for exercise, that's what you should be doing instead of eating breakfast, because breakfast isn't that good for you, especially if it's like pancakes and stuff. Oh, come on, give me a break. We don't eat pancakes for breakfast anymore, do we? Well, I live in the Philippines, and I'm trying to live a long time. People love junk food on this planet. They just love junk food. I'm ready to call this the junk food planet. I have other names for it, but I'll spare you the details. Basically, the way it works is, when I finished Chapter 3 of Treebard development, I said I quit. This is the code. You're going to work with this code. This is the last version of Treebard. And then I did the tour. Found some things I didn't like, wasn't satisfied anymore. I changed my mind and added a whole new series, just finishing that right now, in which I fixed some stuff. And now there is an improved code base, better than what is on the blog, better than what is available from the website. So am I going to go redo all that code on the blog? Am I going to redo the website, upload a different exe, upload different source code to the website? Here's what I decided. I decided that I'm going to let people make a small donation, or any size donation they want, really, if they want the absolute most recent version of the code. And if they don't want to make a donation, there's not a whole heck of a lot wrong with the code that was finished and uploaded a couple weeks ago, I suppose. Today is August 15, 2024. I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to close this video. I was hoping to show you this, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you this. This doesn't need to be done, but it won't hurt anything to do it, so let's just go ahead and do it, and then you'll see how it's done. You can also read the instructions. The instructions are right here, starting with this and going down to here. This is very simple. It's easier than it looks. Most of this is just output from the SQLite command line interface. The first step is to delete these two files. Those are in data settings. This won't work right if you don't delete these two files. Unigeds, and this is a text version, kind of a import of it. It's basically the schema code. It's the same code that you would type into the CLI if you wanted to create this database from scratch, all the tables, but I didn't type it. It's made by SQLite. We're going to delete those two. Next step, I'm just going to copy this. You're in sampletree.tbd. It's open. You're in that tree. It has to be that tree, not some other tree. I mean, I'm showing you how I do it. I don't know what you're going to do in your project, but just showing you what I do. This is not it. This is treebard.db. So this is how you close out. And then we're going to go SQLite 3. That's how I know I'm in the right place. I print the tables. Then I go output, and I give it a path. And we're going to give it the path where we're going to make a new unigeds.sql. Okay, so that's a path. We're going to output to that path. Enter. Next, we're going to say schema. And this is what we're going to output to this path, to this file right here. The schema for all the tables is going to go right in here. And then we're going to exit. Let me just look at my instructions, make sure I haven't made any boo-boos. Yeah, that's right. Now we're closing out of this tree. Now we're back in the regular old Windows terminal, CMD prompt, command prompt, whatever you want to call it. This is just, you see users, Luther man? That's just me. Yours is going to say something a little bit different, depending on your Windows username. I'm going to copy this whole line. It goes down here, it wraps around, but it's one line. Control C. What we're doing is we're creating a SQLite database called unigeds.db by importing this schema that we just created. So we're going to go over here. And we're going to hit enter. This error always appears. I just ignore it. I don't know what it means, and it's not a problem. Everything works fine, so I put it here, you see. Now, important final step. There are 3 trees in sampletree.tbd. That's traits TBD, main TBD, and current TBD that do not belong in unigeds because they're not about primary features. They're more like stuff that is in relation to Treebard specifically, the Treebard interface. So you're going to delete these three tables from what you just created. So you have to open what you just created. You can copy that up if you want or type it. You're going to open unigeds and you're going to drop these three tables and then close unigeds. They all say TBD on the end of the name, so I will remember which ones are not in unigeds. We have to keep unigeds pure so that there's nothing in there in reference to Treebard, the person that made Treebard. It's all just historical data, nothing in unigeds except historical data. And then we can add these special tables to our copy of unigeds.db, which becomes a family tree in Treebard. And we put the TBD on the end of the table names so we know what they're doing there. Current. And that is an empty tree with nothing in it. And that's what make tree uses. We've worked with make tree in the previous movie. That's what make tree function uses to copy. It copies unigeds.db and makes a family tree out of it. Adds these three tables, adds a few default values that are used, default place, default person. I would like to go like this, and make a copy of this, just a spare copy. And delete this old one. It's just for if the user gets in here and starts messing around, who knows what they might delete accidentally. I remember when I was first a computer user, I'd stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning trying to solve problems. And my way of solving problems, of course, was to delete things if I didn't know what they were. So, yeah, we just want to have an extra copy. This is today's version. We're going to copy it over to default. And we're going to call it unigeds untouched. So if you delete your unigeds.db or mess it up or accidentally open it up and mess with it, you can just copy this one and remove the untouched and you'll have a fresh copy of unigeds. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thanks for dropping by. And if you are not satisfied with copying the code off of these videos in this series, then you can make a donation, small or big, any kind of donation you want at treebard.com donate.html, and you will get this most freshest version or whatever happens to be the most freshest version of the source code and a new exe that matches it in exchange for your donation. Big donation, small donation, they both get the same reward. So don't give me a big donation thinking that you're going to get work out of me, because you're not. I'm retired from this project. It's a pat on the head for me for all the work that I've done on Treebard full-time for 6 years at 16,000 hours. If you have a calculator, you will see that I was working considerably more than 5 days a week and more than 8 hours a day. That's a fact. I'm not bragging. Some people just call that obsession. I wouldn't worry about it one way or the other. But if you don't want to watch these videos and copy all the code and hope you get it right, or if these videos are old as you're watching them, there's a chance that I might have gone back and changed more stuff. So you might want to get the very freshest version by making a small donation or a donation of any size at the website, treebard.com. Okay, this is Professor UD Guru coming direct to you from Treebard University right here in southern Mindanao. I'm signing off. Maybe not forever. Might see you again soon. We'll see about that. I don't think I'm going to make any movies tomorrow because it's going to take me probably a week to edit all these movies. But anyways, thanks for dropping by. See ya.